Hi, my name is AIRYUS, and I play games. In today's video, I will be introducing a very special guest. Together, we'll discuss the truth about Elder Scrolls Blades, and if you stick around until the end of the video, we will also be sharing everything you need to successfully secure a spot in the top 100 of the Arena leaderboard. But before we do, for all of you just discovering this channel, or if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. The more of you that subscribe, the more I'll be able to bring you new and awesome content. And without further ado, let me introduce my very special guest.
How do we say your name, just to make sure we're saying it right?
BOBBALOO Boogie Night.
BOBBALOO Boogie Night.
Well, so I'm currently the Grand Master of the Bloodborne guilds. We're up to 4 guilds under the Bloodborne banner for us in our own guilds. So we went from having 2 guilds that were pretty evenly matched. I think we were ranked in the top 10. To having one super guild that has consistently been in the top 4, and this has been since season 2, season 3. We had a little bit of a schism. We lost a few players, and we've had some players come and go, but we've kept a pretty strong core. Trying to challenge Dragonbane and Jorvasker and True Blades. I think the 4 of us have all pretty much jockeyed around the top 4 spots ever since. Nice. And so that's provided a nice competition amongst the guilds.
Do you mind if I put you on the spot real quick? Who do you think, despite the rotations that may happen, who do you think the top 5 are?
Well, it's easily those 4. Bloodborne, Jorvasker, Dragon's Bane, True Blades, definitely. Akatosh Empire is very good.
Well, thank you for sharing that. There's a lot of people that ask, and I'm sure there'll be different opinions on it, but it's good to hear yours.
So we've got 4 guilds, probably got 40 to 50 active players at any one time, which is pretty intense. And so there's a lot of chat going on.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I get a lot of notifications from your guys' guilds. It's nice. What about community project involvement? You started GG's. I'm sure you had no idea it was going to be where it is today. And you've done a lot of stuff in the community. You're active in Reddit. What are some of the other things that you'd like to talk about?
Well, so let's talk about GG's. So back before there was a GG's, all there was were the Reddit channel. There was a generic Blades Discord that was pretty quiet. And then there was another Blades Arena Discord that was run by a former player. One of the things that we did in our own server was, we always said, good game. After we fought, a guildmate, we'd come back, we'd say, good game. If we recorded the match, we'd post the video and we could watch it. We'd talk about, here's what happened. Oh, look at that. Oh, I'm going to get you next time. But, no matter what happened during the fight, there was always afterwards, it was GG, good game. Nice. So I started doing that on Blades Arena server, and there were a good handful of regular players on there. You could, pop in and say, good game, good game. During that time, there were a lot of allegations flying around, shield turtling this and exploit that and blah, blah, blah. Everybody's kind of yelling at each other. And just the way that server was working out was a little distasteful for a lot of players. So
I hear you.
I said, you know what? I'm just going to make one. Never having moderated a server or anything like that in my life. So I partnered with Zeverin, who was in my guild at the time. He's now in Dragon's Bane. And we put together the GG server, and it was just supposed to be one room where any player from anywhere could just pop in and say, good game. And we started with, about a dozen players that hopped on it right away. Mostly players that we were already friendly with in Discord from other chat rooms or people we had talked to on Reddit. But then it started growing. And, people wanted more. So we added a side chats room, and we added a couple other places where people, could chat about different things that were not directly related to just saying GG, and it's kind of grown from there. So it's been open for about really only 6 or 7 months now. I think we started in November, if I remember right. We're up to something like 350 players right now, which is very, very cool.
No, and it's awesome. I think it became really key when we started having monthly resets and people were coming back to the arena. I mean, let's be honest, when we didn't even have resets, it was like, who'd want to try for those top 100 spots at the time because they were so cemented in, you know what I mean?
Right. Well, you remember back to season 1 was like 6 months long. So, if you wanted to try to climb that leaderboard, some players that had top spots weren't even playing anymore. So you couldn't, you couldn't find them to try to take their trophies from them.
Right.
And some players that were in the top 20 were just not even playing. So in order to move up, you usually need to beat people who have more trophies than you in order to get moving on up, and you just couldn't find those guys. And there was one player sitting on the number 1 who would only play for a very limited window of the day, so no one could ever match with them.
Right.
So it was rough, and it was disheartening for a lot of players who were trying to get in. But then they finish off season 1. We went to season 2, which was also a longer season, or was like 3 months.
Yep. Is 3 or 6? I thought it was longer than that.
It was long. Whatever
it was.
It was long. But then I think starting in season 3 was when they went to monthly seasons, and that has been much more exciting.
Huge.
I think.
Oh yeah.
I think that's. I wanted to have 3-month seasons. I thought that would be plenty. 1-month season is very intense, but you get down to the end of the season, and then you take a deep breath and you say, "Oh, I got to start all over again. Look, there's all these chests for me to win, and blah blah blah." So let's we
get some new Blades gear and stuff.
Got to get out of old arena on day 1 so you don't get stuck trying to find someone leveled high enough that I can get over 500 cups.
Yep. No, those are the struggles. But yes, man, when GGs came about and just the traffic started flowing there and people were just GGing everywhere, and there's times where I'll play in the arena and I'll actually feel bad if I had a fight and it was regardless of whether it was good or bad or won or lost, I feel bad if I don't go in there and say, hey, good game.
Well, and I try to make a point of it. And sometimes I'll if I'm going to do a long arena session, I won't be sitting at my computer. I'll be, on the patio or in another room. So I'll make a list of who I fought. And I don't care if I won, if I lost, if I, had a 300 ping, or if I lagged out, or if the other player disconnected. I don't care. Regardless of the outcome of the match or what happened during the match, it's going to be GG's to these players that I fought, regardless of who I fought. Everyone gets a salute, unless they're a guildmate, and then they get a heart. And that, for me, the whole idea of that kind of just goes back to the spirit of sportsmanship is, if someone's willing to gear up, hop in the arena, and be on the other end of the internet from me and go toe-to-toe, then they deserve a salute. They deserve a good game.
I feel you on that. I do. And sportsmanship is important, because at the end of the day, we're all humans. It doesn't matter if you're Russian, if you're German, French, white, black, red, yellow, blue, green, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're all humans. We all love to play this game, and that's why we do it. I got to ask though, man, like, what are your feelings when someone gives you a nice, just hearty guffaw? What do you feel?
I think it depends on who it is. The vast majority of them, I don't care. Some of my guildmates do it to me. I'll call out one of my guys. Dragonborn is one of the toughest players that I ever fight against. And sometimes he whoops me so bad that I want to just walk away. And then he throws a big fat guffaw at me, and I'm like, "Oh, I love you, but I hate you." But otherwise, to me, it's no big deal. Somebody wants to guffaw me, they better back it up with their arena play.
I like it. What would you say to people who get that guffaw and just feel disheartened and just want to put the game down?
I try not to tell them how to feel. I've learned that's the absolute wrong approach.
Nice. I like it.
So I just try to set the example. Here is how I react when someone guffaws me, and I give them a way to see it that makes sense to me. I hope nobody takes any of these things personally, because it's just a game. It's one click of a button that makes your character do some funky move. So to me, it doesn't matter. But I understand that to a lot of people, it's disheartening, especially when you get guffawed by a player who's like 1,000 cups above you, and they beat
yes,
holy patootie out of you.
Absolutely. Yes.
And it's like, oh man, why are you being such a jerk to me? But the thing about this game is the people who are beating you today, you can put in the work and you can come back and whoop them a week from now or 2 weeks from now or a month from now.
For
It
sure.
doesn't always have
For
to
sure.
be where you get slaughtered. You know, I go back to my first season. Arena had been open for, you know, a couple of months before I ever started playing it. I was like level 63. I had all this awesome PvE gear that was all cool elemental resists, and I had a fire sword that was made out of glass that I thought was really good. And I just got absolutely slaughtered in the arena, and I couldn't figure it out. And these guys were just destroying me. And,
we've all been there, sir.
yep. And then, you know, I started to figure a few things out. And then I joined the Dragonborn Guild, and I learned about the magic of health armor, which everyone should know about.
Maybe we'll save that for another one.
We will. And then I started getting just a few victories here and there, and then I started picking up more victories, and then I started beating the pants off of some people who had totally wrecked me in matches before. And you know, there are still players that were beating me in season 1 that still beat me today, like, you know, Nariel or Kaza. But for the most part, you know, you can put in the work and you can overcome those players if you have the patience for it. And if you're willing to learn from your mistakes, if you're willing to work on your gear, if you're willing to just overcome the random lag and ping issues that everyone has, you can put in the work and you can get good at this game.
See, that right there, you summed it up in like the perfect little chocolate covered candy and just put it in a little box and just you handed it to us, man. That's it right there. How to be in the top 100.
Yeah, and that's how to do it, is to persevere. So there are some players who are just naturally magnificent video game players and they know what they're doing all the time. I am not one of those people.
Likewise, sir.
You know, I'm one of those people who has to put in a lot of work and, you know, has to grind and has to, you know, get the good gear. I definitely, at this point in my Blades career, I rely on having very good gear, knowing how to use my skills and abilities, knowing the tendencies of most of the opponents that I fight, because I fight in the arena a lot. I do not rely on superior hand-eye coordination or any magical video game ability that there are a few players out there who absolutely have. And that just goes to show any schmuck off the street can put in the work and be good in the arena if they're willing to grind it out.
I love it. BOBBALOO, the average schmuck off the street, now in the top 100.
Right, and that may be the nicest thing that I'm called today.
The average schmuck.
The average schmuck.
Well, thank you. Thank you for that insight. I mean, a lot of gold there that I'm sure people can benefit from. Something away from gameplay, a little more about community involvement. Now, 100 Gem Weekend. Mm-hmm. You want to talk about how that came about?
Well, so one day, this one was purely my idea. I decided to do this thing called a free-for-all. Arena was feeling a little bit dead for some people. This was probably in season 2, I think, where you would queue a long time and you just couldn't get any matches. And I knew there were players out there, but we couldn't get them on at the same time. So what I decided to do was just set an hour for me, what was a Saturday morning, and try to get as many players in the arena at the same time, so that we could get constant matches, we could generate a lot of cups, get some inflation. I think, you know what, I remember what it was, is a lot of people were disheartened because it looked like nobody was going to make Imperial that season because of the trophy distribution and the fact that you just couldn't get enough matches. So
interesting.
So I decided to just set this thing up 1 hour, posted it on Reddit and posted it on the GG server. And I just decided to do something hokey, you know, have people post their matches, win or lose, whatever, doesn't matter. And whoever posted the most matches would be the player of the week. And from the start, we started to get pretty good participation, where we'd start to get a bunch of players on at the same time. You'd get nonstop matches for an hour. You wouldn't have to queue. You'd get to fight different people. And win or lose, we'd generate a lot of cups and create some, trophy inflation just because there were a lot of people playing. That's
pretty awesome.
Yeah, I thought it was great. And then it started to get more popular, week after week. We started, getting an average of 20 or 30 players who would post on GGs that they had matches, but there were easily twice or three times as many players that would log in at that time, just because they knew that there would be matches, regardless of whether they were posting them or not.
Now, can we just backtrack real quick for people that don't know about FFA?
That's literally, in a nutshell, FFA is the Arena Free for All. It's now a 2-hour event every weekend, where
On a Saturday or Sunday, right?
and we're back to Saturdays at 10 a.m. Eastern right now,
Okay.
where everybody gets in the arena at the same time and beats the snot out of each other. If you're on the GG's channel, as the fights are going, you post in this live chat who you fought. So I would post versus Dagon. Let's say if I played Dagon, regardless of whether I won or lost the match, Dagon and I fought. And Dagon would post versus BOBBALOO. So after the 2 hours is over, I would just go through and count up all the matches posted by people and figure out who posted the most. And most of the time, it's going to be one of the two-handers because their matches go faster and they can just constantly be queuing and getting a lot. So like Phantom Mike and Ilasif the Fair tend to win it a lot because their matches last like 4 seconds.
Just slash and done.
Boom, 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 done. On to the next one. Doon, 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 on to the next one. But it doesn't matter because we get a lot of people, posting and so we're averaging, somewhere in the 30 player range. We're somewhere in the 400 matches posted over the course of 2 hours, which is really good. It's that's a lot of fun, and we have a live voice chat going on at the same time that we've recently added video streaming to. So we'll have all players who are chatting with each other while matches are going on, and so that's a lot of fun. So anyway, so we had been doing the arena free for all for a couple of months, and the Bethesda's community manager, who goes by CVH online, reached out to me and said, hey, I understand that you guys do this event. We want to go ahead and endorse it by doing a free gem giveaway. And I thought,
How did CVH hear about it, and how did he reach out to you?
well, because I had been posting the results on Reddit.
Aha.
So every
Nice.
week I would do 2 posts. I'd do one post that say the free for all is coming this weekend. Get yourself ready and mark your calendars. And then after the event, I would post a list of all the players and the number of matches that they recorded and announce who the player of the week was.
So we're here in this in this kind of new territory for you. I mean, when you started, you've never even managed a Discord channel before,
Correct.
and now you're running these events on the weekend, and a community manager from Bethesda sees your results from the event on Reddit and is like, hey, we want to endorse this. I mean, at that point, how did you feel?
That was huge for the community because we did that by people getting excited about this event, which was purely for fun. There were no rewards involved in it whatsoever. People were just doing it just because it was fun, just because we loved to play Arena. And when CVH hit me up with the 100 gem giveaway, I was like, yeah, buddy. And yeah, and so it went from there. And since then, if I've had to move the event because of my schedule, then CVH has moved the gem giveaway to coincide with it.
Oh, that's
which is
awesome.
great. So now it's a regular thing. If they ever stop doing it, if they ever stop doing that 100 gem giveaway, there will be a Reddit explosion.
It would be a riot of all the bladers.
It would go. There are people who will log in just to get the gem, regardless of whether they fight or not.
I'm one of them.
Right?
Totally.
Regardless of whether they fight during that 2 hour window, they'll log in just to get the gems. But more of them will get in and get fights.
No joke.
Right? Which
I was up in a mountain, snowboarding down. I look at my clock. It's like, uh-oh, I got 5 minutes. I don't even try to go down. I will pull off to the side, pull out my phone, log in. My friends are like, what are you doing? Hold on a second. What are you doing? It's something important. What are you doing? I need to get my gems, man. Leave me alone. Yeah, it's that importance to some people, man. I hear you.
right? But when it comes down to it, it's all about having more arena involvement because more players means more matches, means more fun and less waiting.
That's awesome, man. Thank you for that idea, for driving it, for still driving it. I mean, the FFA weekend event is something. How long has that been going on now?
Let's see. I think we started it in November. I could probably tell you exactly when because I track it.
I mean, I'm feeling an anniversary event coming up here. You know what I mean? Like something big.
Oh, that would be a good idea. Let's see. All right. So I've been keeping track of it since November 21st of 2020.
There we go. 11/21/2020. FFA was started. In 2021, we're going to have an anniversary event. Excellent. I love it.
Yeah. So, for the first couple months, we averaged 16 players. We averaged, something like 200 matches. But since, let's just say since the beginning of March, we've been averaging 27 players and we've been averaging 380 matches.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just it's great to get, to get that many players in at one time. And those are just the ones that actually post their matches on GG's. There's a huge amount of players that just play that don't want to, for whatever reason, they don't want to do Discord. They don't like me personally or whatever it is. Because it is a video game community, so there is plenty of online,
of course,
people being online people. But whatever, I don't care as long as they keep playing the game.
Exactly. And you know what? Were you into like WWF wrestling back in the day?
Yeah, when I was like a kid, yeah.
I mean, yeah, I remembered that stuff as a kid, and it's like you kind of needed the bad guys around, because without the bad guys, the good guys couldn't do their good guy drama thing,
Right? If Rowdy Roddy wasn't there, then Hulk Hogan was just kind of a jerk. But in comparison, if you compare Hulk Hogan to Rowdy Roddy Piper, then Hulk Hogan seems like a hero.
There you go. Or like, what about Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man? Like,
there you go.
He was a really bad dude, right?
Right. But in the context, he's just a guy who talks a lot of smack.
And shoves $100 bill in someone's mouth when he beats them. I mean, someone beat me and shoved $100 bill in my mouth, I'd be okay with that.
Well, I think, again, depends on the context.
Well, again, man, what you guys do, what you do for the community, your guild, all the people that support you, it's huge. Before we wrap it up, just some insight. Why do you still play Blades?
Because it's fun. When it comes down to it, the reason why we do this is because it's fun. None of us are making any money off this game. None of us are going to achieve huge internet fame. There's no plaque or statue going to be erected in our honor. It's a mobile game that just so happens to be a heck of a lot of fun. I've met a lot of awesome people all across the world, in both inside my guild and outside my guild, that I love interacting on a daily basis. Whether it's Dagon, who's in my guild, he's from Japan, or whether it's ZadeQ, also in my guild, who's from the Middle East, or it's Nariel, who's from Russia, or it's any number of players like Sammy from Germany or Pluto from Germany, and then tons of players here in the US. With the online community, we chat, we have something in common that we talk about, and the community itself makes the game fun. Regardless of what happens in the game, we all have the same things to complain about. Timers, or Severio enchants, or the RNG, or the sigil events, or whatever happens in the arena. We all have this shared experience, and it's more fun when you share it with people. And the game itself is fun. So as long as we have the players, as long as we have the active community, and as long as the game keeps going, I'm going to be logging in every day.
Thank you for your time. Thank you for your contribution. I think at this point you're good to go for your guys' live stream, yeah?
Yeah, so that's the latest thing that we've added to the GG servers. We started doing live stream. We've got 2 different channels for experienced players to go ahead and just log in and stream and show off what they're doing. And then I added a channel for training, where newer players are more than welcome to log in and just start streaming what they're doing. Any of the experienced players that are on the GG server can hop in and give them feedback. Approach your matches this way. Why are you wearing that armor? It looks ridiculous and it makes your butt look huge. Why are you using, adrenaline dodge? What's the matter with you?
Wait a minute. Is there something wrong with adrenaline dodge? Just kidding. maybe for another session we'll talk about that.
But anyway, so that's the new thing that we've just added to GG's. I'm very excited about it. We've had some good audiences for that.
How do we get in on that? When's your schedules?
You know what? Right now, it's just kind of catch as catch can. I think if you log in at any given time, you're going to find that someone is streaming. So, for example, right now while we're doing this call, I've got both Dan and Kazza.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Are both streaming.
Yeah, there's 2 of them going right now. That's cool.
And they've got a nice little audience. I don't know why they're both streaming in the same room. These guys, come on, guys. They'll figure it out sooner or later. So that's the next
started.
thing. So newer players who are still trying to figure stuff out, who just do not understand why they're getting their behinds handed to them, log into these video channels and either watch experienced players play and learn from what they're doing, or get on the training chat and broadcast your own game and let some of these experienced players give you tips in real time on how you could be improving your game.
Okay, so that is huge. And I just want to reiterate that so that no one misunderstands it, because what you're saying is that we don't have to be in your guild. I could be any average schmuck off the street, go into GG, play some games, and some people will actually give me feedback on how to get better.
Yes. If I'm sitting here at my computer and I see a player, I don't care who they are, start streaming in the training chat and stream channel, I'm going to log in to watch and see what they're doing. And if I can give them some constructive feedback, I'm going to. I think that's one of the greatest things about this game and the community involved is whether you're trying to posting your question on Reddit, you're coming to one of the Discord channels and you're asking questions there. There are tons of players who will help you out by giving you the information that you need to compete. Yes,
Well, there you go.
You will do better if you get into a PvP competitive guild and get more, one-on-one instruction, get to theory craft, get to work with these players who are experienced. You will get a lot out of that. So come on over and ask your questions, and I guarantee you that there will be a race of players trying to get in there to give you constructive feedback.
Well, that is awesome. I'm going to leave it at that then, because that is such a positive note. Again, thank you for your time today, sir.
Can't wait for the next video. My name is AIRYUS, and I play Blades. Watch my
It's
thumbs!
games now. Watch my thumbs, man. I got naked for you guys. I hope it was all right.
It's good stuff, man. It's good stuff.